Hello, it's Wesley here.
And Jen.
And today we are releasing podcast number 3.
With Amelia Coburn.
Yeah, and this was a really nice chat. We giggled most of the way through.
It was actually really fun. Incredibly lovely lady to talk to, full of great stories, and it'd be really great when she comes over to the Shires and shares those stories more widely. But
yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. So, without further ado, here we go.
In broad light of day, at dawn or at dusk, through twilight's velvet hue, I will sail with you on this ship, navigate uncharted waters, and following 2 bright stars. Through the ebb and the flow, the tug and the tow, Captain, guide us home. From to and fro, we heave and we...
Hello.
Hiya.
How are you, Amelia?
I'm good. Just saying earlier, I'm very cold. I've got my heated blanket on and my turtleneck jumper, but otherwise I'm very good. I've got a lot of going on at the moment.
And what part of the world are you in?
Middlesbrough.
Nice.
So are you more of a winter or a summer person?
Oh, you know what? I think I'm autumn. My favourite weather is freezing but blue sky. I love cold weather, but it's outside, it's miserable, it's windy and rainy, so you can't really have nice walks because it's just, grim.
Yeah.
We've noticed that the majority of our wardrobe is wool.
Yeah.
We've definitely set off for autumn.
Yeah.
I do get very excited this time of year because all of a sudden, all my wardrobe is now available to me. While in summer, I just feel like I'm just looking rather dishevelled.
Yeah, exactly. I love a good big knit jumper and chunky boots. I love it.
Yeah.
And talking about big knit jumpers, that ties us nicely into the nautical theme within quite a lot of your music.
Yes.
Where did all that come from?
I think because Middlesbrough, it's coastal. I'm from 10 minutes away from the coast. When I was a kid, I used to go to Saltburn a lot, which you might have heard of Saltburn Folk Festival, but it's a gorgeous seaside town. It's got the old Victorian funicular railway.
We've got one of those.
We've got a funicular here. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought we were the only ones.
Oh, no, but we'll show you the sights of our funicular in Bridgnorth when you come.
Amazing. I'll do a funicular tour.
Okay, there you go. Sorry, interruption.
No. And then I also, Whitby, it's a train ride to Whitby. So, and there's loads of home videos of me as a kid just running along the beach, just with where I used to always go, and I've always felt an affinity for the seaside. So I think that's where it came through in my songs. And I've got a lot of books about maritime folklore and myths, and I think it's a fascinating thing, the sea. It's just so big, and you don't know what's out there, but I just love everything about it.
Wonderful. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I love the atmospheric kind of this full storytelling that you've got through those, and you can just imagine the characters within that story, and for some of the different songs, and I think it's just really visual. I absolutely love it. It's great.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to tell stories where I can. I think it's one of those. I love a song that tells a story when I listen to something, so when I write, I try and... Because, sometimes you can get stories that are, very specific, this tells the tale of this, where sometimes you can be a bit more abstract, is what I was trying to say. Yeah, some of my songs are a bit more abstract, but there's still, a dream-like narrative running through it.
Yeah, very much so. That really does come across. Yeah, really fun with it. And with that kind of theme, I saw on your Instagram earlier this year, in the summer, you were playing an amazing-looking festival. Was that over at... something pool festival, Tall Ships.
Oh yeah, the Tall Ships. That happens every 10 years? It's not very, it's it only comes, or maybe it happens every year, but in different parts of the world, because it last happened in Hartlepool in 2009, I think. So that was really, I was performing my own stuff there, as well as, I also work with a charity called Whip It Up, and they work with, it's social prescribing, if you've heard of that. So adults come who sometimes have learning difficulties or disabilities. Some people just come because it's a nice thing to do if you're lonely or just want to meet people, and they create everything. We write music together. They make puppets. So I was at the Tall Ships with them, and we were performing puppet shows for families, and I'd written the songs for the participants. The participants made the puppets, and then we performed the show, and a lot of the songs we wrote and performed were local folk tales, so that it all ties in, all our music and this the work with them.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
That looks so much fun.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, what a great thing to do. Yeah,
I enjoy it.
It just looks so visually amazing. Everyone was dressed up. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because sometimes I'll be I don't know, not on a night out, but I'll be out in Middlesbrough and someone will go, are you Amelia Coburn? And I'll think, yeah, like my music. And no, they actually recognise me from the puppet show. They're like, oh, my kid loves that song you sing. I'm like, oh no. They know me from the puppet show with the pirate hat.
Hey, there's worse things to be known for.
That's true, yeah.
So have you got a puppet of yourself? Because that would be absolutely brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know when this podcast is coming out, but so for the single that's coming out on the 8th of November, Seesaw, I recorded the music video with Whip It Up because we've worked so much together. I thought it'd be really nice to bring them into my side of things, and they made a puppet of me for the video. So obviously no one's seen it yet, but that will be out on the day of the single, and I'm really excited for people to see that video.
Oh, I can't
Please
wait.
tell
That's
me.
brilliant.
Please tell me you got to keep the puppet.
Someone asked me this on Patreon. I didn't keep it, but I'm sure if I wanted it, they'd let me have it. And if I'm ever ill for a gig, just get the puppet out and
There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Here's my alter ego.
Yeah.
You could say some terrible things with your puppet. It wasn't me, it was the puppet.
That's really interesting. Yeah, because the style of your artwork, I really enjoy kind of watching the videos you've done in the past, and I really loved Ebb and the Flow, where you had like that
Captain Guide Me Home. Yeah.
and it's not I suppose it's not, it is animation, it's just that kind of cutout kind of animation with it.
Yeah, I wish I
and
could say I did that myself. My manager Andy did that, but he was inspired by a Captain Pugwash.
I was going to say, to me, it reminded me of Crystal Tips and Alistair. It's that kind of the same animation. That was the same as that, yeah.
It's that sort of thing where you want it to look quite childlike and a bit sort of cutty-outy, like you say, but also really well done. So, it's that balancing it, looking like a kid's done it, but also, wow, that's really cool. So that's what we always try and go for.
It's really clever. I really enjoyed that.
When did you suddenly discover your love of cheese?
Cheese, well, probably when I was in Mexico, because I studied languages at university. And I did French, Spanish and Russian. So my first half of the year was spent working in Paris, which I still work for that company freelance, doing translation, voiceover stuff. And then the next half of the year, I say half because I did Russia as well, so it was more in thirds, was in Mexico. And I was actually vegan before I went to Mexico. I'd been vegetarian for about 10 years and then vegan for a bit longer. Sorry, about 2 years of that 10 years, and I got to Mexico and just became carnivorous basically. I just loved all the food, devoured it all, and I just rediscovered cheese and Mexican food. And that's when I got home from there. I'd written quite a lot of songs, and they were all a bit kind of morbid, and I said to Andy, I want something to finish a set with, perhaps not what I'd put on an album, but I want a song that I can get people to clap along with, people can sing along, something that is a crowd pleaser almost, because I didn't really have any of them. It was all like, not going to finish on a high, we're going to finish on this song. Yeah. So put that in the set, purely wrote it for that, and it was just so fun to write, and it was kind of a joke, but started singing it at gigs, and it became the fan favourite. People wanted that song and said, are you going to sing about cheese tonight? I'm like, oh, okay, if you want me to. So it became that sort of thing. And I don't know if you saw, but I played a gig in Trowbridge the other week, and he tagged the page of the gig with folk, ukulele, singer-songwriter, #cheese. So now it's like my description.
Yeah, you made it. There you go.
#cheese, yeah.
Give me a big fat gordito with a sauce on top and a stacked up some meat or two. I'll have a hot beef fajita and the refried beans and a chili-filled taco or two. Flauta, torta, chicharron, could eat them till the sun goes down. Porque mezcal all day long, chalupas, holy cow. Singing ooh-wee, doctor help me please. Somebody told me that you are what you eat. Well, I think I'm turning to cheese, nacho cheese.
You'll be pleased to hear though then, if you like kind of Mexican food, that the Jam Factory that you're playing as part of the ShireFolk tour is but it's all Mexican street food.
Amazing. Oh, I can't wait for that.
I've had some, and it's very good.
Perfect.
You were on the artist mentorship program with the English Folk Expo.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more about that journey. How did that come about?
I began that in 2000. It's weird actually. I just got a notification on my phone, when you get memories from months or years ago. Yeah. And it was this time 2 years ago. It was my first weekend of the expo at the Manchester Folk Festival, and I put a photo on saying, great way to kickstart my mentorship. So I applied for that in the summer of 2021, I was at a point in my music where I think I'd finished university in 2020 during lockdown, and my plan was when I graduated, I wasn't applying for jobs. I was going to go and do music full time and see how it went. And then obviously I couldn't do any gigs, so I got a job working for a bit like Whip It Up in Nottingham. I was working at a charity, I was sort of doing community arts or music art for people who don't always access it. And then after I'd just finished that internship, and I was like, what do I do now? I want to do music, but I've sort of taken a few years off from this, and how do I get back into it? I know I've got a good fan base, but I needed someone to basically kick me up the bum and tell me what to do. I applied for that, really not thinking I'd get it, to be honest. And then, Tom Besford called me and said, we're going to, put you on the mentor program. So it changed my life, really, because since then I've been doing music, and I've met people like yourselves and people on the mentorship program that it's just, I didn't know anyone in the music industry really until then. I knew people from Teesside, but that just opened my mind to so many things, and it really did. It was a game changer. It was amazing.
And we were there this weekend at the English Folk Expo, and we bumped into a lovely gentleman called Barney.
Yeah, I met Barney. The loveliest man.
And Barney was your mentor, I believe, yeah. And how did that go? I mean, how did you that relationship?
Barney's amazing. We're still in touch now. He's great. Like, I sent him the album. Obviously, it's not out yet, but I sent him it saying, "What do you think?" He loves it. He's always been like fighting my corner. And when we were because obviously, as you know, the mentors are chosen. They're handpicked for each artist based on the conversation that you have with the English Folk Expo. And I sort of said, I just need an all-rounder. I don't really know what I need right now. I need someone who can... I had no confidence, and I think they probably saw that on the call, because I didn't know what I wanted, and probably because I didn't believe myself. So Barney was he didn't work purely in folk music. He'd managed heavy metal and rock bands in the past. So it was someone who had dipped the toes in many parts of the industry, and I think that was great. And again, he does his own mentoring outside of the English Folk Expo program, Kick Arts, and so he knew basically, he kicked ass basically. As his Kick Arts would imply, he basically really got my confidence just grew with him, and he said, you're great, and I think I already knew that, but it was just having other people believe in me, like Barney, and all the advice he gave me across the year was just so important. And now I'm releasing the album, I've kept that with me, and taking it forward.
That's it. Having someone at the end of the phone sometimes is all it needs, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I was at Focus Wales doing my first showcase performance, and I don't know why, because I do gigs and I do get nervous. Obviously, everyone does, but not debilitatingly nervous. But those showcases, I was having proper panic attacks, and Rani was just just call me before you go on. And I rang him at the hotel, I don't know if I can do it. He said, yes, you can. And I was fine. I did it. And now I know I can do it. But I was just I didn't know who to talk to about that sort of thing, because friends don't understand if they're not in the industry. And I didn't want to scare other artists by going, I don't want to do it, So Barney was the perfect person to just calm me down.
You've got a new album that's been recorded.
Yes.
Tell us about that journey.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. I've been releasing music since I was about 19, but it's all been home recorded and pretty DIY. But this was the year after the English Folk Expo mentorship. I thought, right, I'm going to do the album, and chose my producer as Bill Ryder-Jones. It was really difficult choosing who to produce it, because I had a certain sound that I knew I wanted, but I was also pretty open to... I knew I wanted it to be something, but I was very open-minded about what the end product would be. So Bill Ryder-Jones for me was the perfect choice, because he's produced for people like Saint Saviour, who, I don't know if you've listened to her music, she's also from Stockton, and she's a bit like Kate Bush, but her own thing entirely. And I love her music. And Bill, as a songwriter, is brilliant. He co-founded the Coral, and the people he's produced for. Basically, I'd seen the work he'd already done himself and who he produced for, and I just thought this would be the perfect fit. It's that singer-songwriter at its core, but there's a bit of psychedelic in there, a bit of indie, and I was trying to open I don't want to box myself into the folk genre as such. When I play solo, I suppose it is folk music, it's singer-songwriter, it's storytelling, but also my influences are very broad, so I wanted someone who understood those influences and could bring them all into one thing. Basically, I can't really say anything succinctly, but there we go.
Yeah.
No, it's perfect. Yeah.
So what's kind of the instrumentation on the album then?
Bill basically played everything except, I played the ukulele.
Okay.
So there's a bit, there are some touches of psychedelia in there, but it's still stripped back. know my live performances, and it is quite intimate, and it's not full blown production on every single track. There's a few that are like that, but I've also pulled it back for a few because it doesn't need loads. It's just the songs are themselves speak for themselves, and I didn't want it to be this huge orchestral like album because that's not how it is live, and I didn't want it to be overblown. But I think it works really well, and the people who have heard it who don't even have any bias towards me said and I've enjoyed it, which is nice.
Yeah.
You send it to people who don't really know me, and they go, "Oh, it's a good album." So I knew it. I think it's a great album because I've worked hard on it, and it's the songs I've written. But then you think, "Oh, what if only I like it and other people don't?" So I think it's so far people said enjoyed it. So I just can't wait for the whole world to hear it when it comes out.
Which because you started a Kickstarter, which finished, was it last week or the week before, your Kickstarter?
It was early October, it was, I can't remember what day it is now, but I think it finished on like the first week of October, and that...
And that's just been phenomenal, the response to that. How does that feel?
It was really like affirming, and I set that up and I put the target, I think the original target was 3,400, which was to pay for the album and like the vinyl record production and CD production. And I remember thinking I could have more, but I might not make it. I'd rather like just get what I can. I don't want to put it to be too ambitious. And then posted it, and we made the target in 8 hours. And I thought, okay, wow, that was not expected. I put it on and I just thought, this is going to be a long month, posting away, trying to chip away at this thing. And people were just really into it. And I didn't realise how much support there was from. I knew I had a really loyal fan base, but that was just like, wow. So then I kept adding little extra targets as I had 29 days left. I thought, well, I may as well, what's the point otherwise? So, and it reached about $8,000 in the end, which I could have just kept adding targets and targets because, like, with albums, there's always expenses. It never stops really. Like, I've still got to pay for loads of stuff, but that, like, I didn't want to keep going because I thought, this is amazing in itself, £8,000, and I basically actually just got the money come through today, so I can finally start putting that out for promo and PR and stuff. Because people don't realise that creating an album is really a massive undertaking. I didn't realise myself until I started it. Like, I spent $8,000 myself on the recording, so when I thought, well, that's done, I've done the album now. And then Andy was like, no, you need another $8,000 for the rest of it, like, to get it out. I was like, oh no.
We've had this conversation very recently with somebody, and he was like, creating the album is actually just the start of the project.
That's probably like the simplest part is just creating it. It's after that is releasing it and getting people to hear it, and it's as well. A lot of the time after you release an album, you're paying for things that isn't really guaranteed to. Like when you're making an album, you know that you can probably sell it and get the money back in some ways, but then a lot of things you're spending on, like promo, PR, artwork. It's just like you don't know if this album is going to do well. You're just hoping it does, and you got to like believe in it, I suppose, because it's quite scary sometimes.
I had your Kickstarter open on the day, and it was great entertaining viewing, just watching the number go up. I just had it open on the screen, refresh. Oh wow,
that's
refresh.
what I did.
Oh,
I know.
no.
It became a bit of an addiction. I did go out. I had like a driving lesson at one point, which was good for 2 hours because I was just sat refreshing and watching go beep beep and like the thing go off. I was like, and when someone did 1,000, I was like, I know. It's gone from like 2 to 3.
And your ukulele went pretty quickly because one of the things was your older ukulele that you had. Yeah,
I gave that. Actually, that was I should have taken a photo for the official handover. I said I'll give him like a certificate at Trowbridge. The fella came to my gig, and he's like been a proper like loyal hardcore fan for years now, and it was kind of it was the right owner, I think, got the ukulele because he plays it himself, really nice. And it's a good ukulele. It's just very old, so he even got it in the original like tatty case. So I think he's happy with that. So
that's really cool. Yeah,
that's absolutely amazing. So when is the album actually planned to come out?
Early March is the plan, as long as vinyl and CD production all go to plan.
And you've got a single coming out, or would you say, on the 8th of November? And what's that called?
Seesaw.
And have you got other singles coming out in between then and the album coming out?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I want to be like early 2024. Gosh, that feels like a really big number. I was going to say 2023, but 2024, and then probably another one right before the album comes out.
Wonderful.
Magpie, mischievous sigh, witnessing crows and their murder. Such sweet sorrow, fever and jealousy, witchcraft and heresy, mourning your majesty. How does your wife feel today? Does she sing herself to sleep? Does she look before the leap? Is she waiting for your secret warrior?
So I noticed as well on your residency, you had an artist residency at the stage in Gateshead this summer. Is that right? What was all that about? How did that work?
So every summer they do something called Summer Studios. It runs for 2 weeks, and I can't remember how many artists they have now, but they have a batch for the first week and a batch for the second. And you can essentially use their space for whatever project you want to do. And I applied with the hopes of writing. I said I'd, recorded my album, and then I needed some time to start writing for future releases because it'll come around quick, and I don't really have a lot of time and space to write. I have moved out now, but at the time I was living in my family home and we were looking after my niece a lot, and so baby noises. I didn't have like good Wi-Fi, no space. Just I was working in like my living room on the settee, and I just said like it'd be really nice to have a week of just pure focus on writing, nothing else, no distractions. And it was when I did it, I realised what I can actually get done in a week if I put my mind to it and actually think I'm going to write. But normally you got other things to do, and you got housework and all cooking, and life gets in the way. So I did that, but I met loads of great artists through it. It was just so nice. It was a bit like the English Folk Expo, where you get to meet other people doing similar things. So actually one of the artists I met was Frankie Archer, who She was just on Jules Holland last week. She does electro folk. She's brilliant.
Oh, wonderful.
And loads of people who I hadn't met before and I had met. It's nice to see again. And we also got to record a live video. It's actually called The Glass House now, isn't it? They've had to change the name from The Sage. So that'll be released in a few weeks, I think, from The Glass House. And you could choose a random part of the building. And I went into the deepest, darkest... I don't know what you call it, like the sound room at the top, like the lighting sound space right at the top of the hall. So that was and it was like spooky lighting and wires around me. I don't know why I chose that, but it's thought it'd be something different.
Amazing.
It was always more inspiring, I think, if you're in a slightly unusual space. It just gets the brain firing.
Normally when you do a live session, it's in some like nice, like clear acoustic room or in a field. I thought, no, I'm going to go somewhere really grotty, and not to say the building is grotty, but it was like very dingy. Maybe cut that out.
Well, welcome to the tech world.
Yes.
You can have the most beautiful, well-lit tech room. You leave a tech in there for 10 minutes, it'll become the dark, dingy place. That's what we like to do.
Exactly. Yes. And as you see, well, not nicely from our background, we live in a cave.
I was going to say that. Are you in a cave?
Yeah, we live in a cave in Brazil.
Wow, kitchen.
Yeah.
Is it cold?
No?
It's
cool.
For other people, yes. For the fact that we like the cold, it's just right for us. It kind of stays the same temperature all year round.
I guess it's good in summer when,
it's
great in summer.
When it was really hot, you could walk outside. It's like when you open the oven door and the heat hits you, because you just didn't realise that it was hot outside. It's because it always just kind of stays the same.
Yeah. So, do you have windows though?
At the front. So it's a cave with half a house. So it's kind of like the kitchen and the living room. We're all back in the cave section, and
yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, I think I'd love a cave, but I'd need like some form of window, I think.
I mean, you mentioned earlier, because you studied languages and that you've travelled quite a lot. Does the different travels and the places you've been influence some of your songwriting? Are there different kind of stories and things that have come out of going to new places you wouldn't already have heard of?
Definitely. I think apart from the sea, that is like my main influence, is going places. I've got a song called Dublin Serenade, which I've released a few years ago, but I've like re-recorded it for the album. And that was inspired by my dusk till dawn staying in Ireland's capital. It was 24 hours, and the song basically tells the entire story. I'll be telling the story at the gigs actually, so you'll hear it then. But as well, like When the Tide Rolls, another one of my songs was written in Mexico. Sandra, which will be on the album too, that is about a lady I live with in Paris, who I'm still close to now, and her tale of post-mortem revenge. So there's a lot of inspiration from not just the places, but the people that I meet on the way. And that's why I always love getting to new places.
Yeah, it very, very much feels like for your writing to kick in, you need to go and have these experiences and go out there and be in the wild. And
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's why I love languages, because I love being able to speak to people who normally, if you couldn't speak their language, you wouldn't be able to have that conversation with, and then it unlocks this whole new barrier, and it really does like transcend. I just love going to places and meeting people. Yeah, it's great.
Brilliant. I shall introduce you to some very interesting people at the ShireFolk.
Yeah, I write a song. Well, be careful, because I do tend to write people into songs, so you never know.
Right, yeah. Instrumentation-wise, you've moved from just the ukulele. It's slowly expanding the instruments that you bring with you on the road now.
Yeah, it's a big mistake, because it used to be so easy, just life with one little ukulele.
You did this to yourself, one little case. Now, I mean, where are you at now? What are you taking on the road with you?
Just the 3. Actually, sometimes 4 in case my ukulele string snapped or something, so I've got a spare.
Yeah.
So I've got the tenor. I don't have it on me right now, but I've got the tenor ukulele, which does look bigger. Oh, you wouldn't be able to see it. Anyone on a podcast would you? I was going to show it. But I have a tenor, the normal sized, a baritone, which is a ukulele, but it's tuned more like a guitar and it's deeper.
Okay.
I play a few songs on that. I love playing that, actually. It's really nice for slower stuff as well, because it's really resonant. It's lovely. And I've got a stick dulcimer, which I play Perfect Storm on. And it's
wonderful.
It's got that. It doesn't really need anything on it. Like, especially when you play live, it's so loud as it is. And it's got that drone sound because it's, I think, diatonic, so it's tuned in a certain way. And it really has that psychedelic tone, which I love when I play. It's a bit of a mixture. If people haven't heard a dulcimer played, to me it's like a mixture between a banjo, a sitar and a guitar, I guess.
Yeah. It's got a beautiful sound on it. It really does. And like you say, you can really hear it pull through. It just stands out on its own, that instrument, the dulcimer. Yeah.
It was a bit of a novelty almost when I got it. I went to go get a ukulele when it was my birthday a few years ago in Nottingham, and I saw it on the wall, and I said, "What is that?" And he said, "Oh, you just play it. It's really easy. You can't play a duff note on it." And it turns out he's pretty right. Like, it all sounds nice no matter what you play. And it wasn't actually that expensive, so I said, "Oh, I'm going to have to get this."
One of the partners of the ShireFolk project is actually Hobgoblin Music. So it's lovely to, whenever I go into Birmingham, you go see Mark at Hobgoblin there, and you just go, right, let's go and play with some of the interesting...
What is that?
I love weird things. When I first started playing music, this was mainly when I was doing covers when I was about 15. Older than 15. When I was doing... Probably about 18 or 19. I still do this Christmas gig in Stockton at the Ark. I'm doing one this year. But when I first started it, every year I would do I'd do one song on a weird instrument or something a bit different. So I did a glockenspiel cover one year. One year I did, I think, kazoo, and then one year I did a stylophone cover of Santa Baby. You know the stylophone?
I do.
Yeah, and I remember putting that on. The stylophone company sent me a free one as if I could be their representative, and I felt like saying, I only play one song, that's Santa Baby.
The new face of stylophone.
Yeah. So I don't think they'd ever send me a free one again, because I don't really use it. But it's good. I think David Bowie wrote... Did he write Space Oddity on a stylophone or Life on Mars? He wrote one song on it, I think.
Wow. There you go.
Exactly.
You've taken over from David Bowie as the face of the stylophone.
Yeah. That's quite a key. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. It doesn't feature on the album, I'm afraid. Maybe next one. Yeah.
Slightly easier instrument to take around with you should you want to carry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your new single, and when it comes out... can you pre-save it, and where can we go to do that, and how can we then buy it from you?
So the single is going to be out next week. I'm really excited, and you can pre-save it. There'll be links in my Instagram and on my website to do that. And when it's out, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to purchase it on things like iTunes. And the album is out in March. I'll probably be announcing when you can pre-order that in the next few months or so. So just keep an eye out and. Wait and see.
Wonderful.
So if people want to follow your social media, what is that on? What's your Instagram tag and everything?
Instagram is Amelia Coburn, Coburn. I'm on Facebook. Twitter, I think, is Amelia_Coburn. Got a website, mailing list, all of it. So whatever you choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever takes your fancy, you're out.
Yeah.
There
Yes.
was always a way that suits you.
Have you ever-
Amelia.
Have you ever been to the Shires before? Herefordshire, Worcestershire, and
I
Shropshire.
haven't. That's what I was saying to people. Like, it's my first time in that part of the country. I think.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is one of the main things of the project is that when I saw you and Georgie Buchanan and the other mentors finishing that, it was a case of being a bit blown away by this incredible talent. But the other problem is just that we can't see it by us because your artists tend not to come here. So this is what the project is, to create those spaces. So
Wes came back from the expo and just raved about all these people he'd seen and yourself. And I was like, right, okay, brilliant. And so we started jumped on, let's go and see them perform. You've got to see these people play. And then went, well, that's quite a drive.
That's a long way for us to go and see these people. So
we just realised it's a lot of the time, because we haven't necessarily got the right size spaces out in the sticks where we are. And that's where the whole project really came from. So we don't have any sea. We're very inland. But there's a lot more hills here. But no, it's a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
We absolutely love it. So going back to the vernacular conversation, ours is the steepest inland vernacular. It's a very specific. It might be the only inland one, so we can get away with that. Normally you do see them on. Normally you do see them more on seaside towns, don't you?
Yeah.
It'll be nice to welcome you to the Shires.
I'm really excited. I've seen the photos of the gigs so far with Lady Ned and Georgia. Yeah, they look really nice. So.
They're really nice, quirky spaces as well.
They're all quite different spaces.
Yeah.
So the Ludlow Distillery is a beautiful space, but it's actually got all the whiskey barrels and the gin school behind.
Cool.
So if you like a drink, it's definitely a good place to come. The Bridge North one is like just a really lovely cafe, and then down in Hereford, we've moved upstairs. It's a really beautiful room in the jam factory. So they're all very different kind of spaces. Yeah. But no, you've nearly sold out Bridge North already.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah.
It's nice to know that, like you say, especially when artists have never been to that part of the country, like when you're doing it, especially completely on your own, these tours, it's hard to book these venues because you don't know if anyone will come. So it's nice having people like yourselves who are promoting it and getting people, saying, raving about it, because otherwise you don't want to go to somewhere you've never been in case, no one turns up. So it's nice.
It's going to be quite scary, that. So we're definitely an advocate on this end.
Oh, thank you. I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank
really
you. It was lovely to see you both and see you in a few weeks' time. Nice to meet you.
Lovely.
Prowling down the alleys, the night is so sweet. The city's got rhythm, I can feel it in my feet. Pass upon the cellar where the Guinness goes quite cheap. The door is ajar, the city asleep. Let the midnight glow enfold you. Let it take your arms and hold you, and lay your sleepy head against the sky. Here's a man who sings so gently. Behind our pines we gaze intently, enchanted by your Dublin serenade.
Well, that was great, wasn't it?
That was absolutely brilliant. Super fun.
Yeah, really enjoyed that one. So she's going to be staying in Bridge North for 3 days.
Yes, so we need to show the sites, including the vernacular, which we talked about during the podcast, and other parts of Bridge North that we think are super interesting.
It might even be reopened then.
Well, let's hope.
That'd be exciting, wouldn't it? Not only could we look at it from a distance, we might be able to
go up and down it.
What? Yeah. And that's all for this time. We'd just like to thank all of our sponsors as before. Without them, this is not possible. So thank you very much. Just visit our website to go and see who they are and go and support them as they support us. We're going to be doing a new flyer for the spring season very soon.
Yes, you need to look out for that. So all the information about the February, March and April shows will be on a doorstep near you.
Ooh.
Quite possibly.
But they're already on sale on our website. So just jump at shirefolk.co.uk. Bye for now.
Bye for now.